Well, good morning, everybody. Firstly, Happy New Year to everybody. We start another year, hopefully with high expectation of things better than 2020. I think we can probably all agree on that one. This is the first Zoom that we've done of 2021, so it's very exciting. Just to kind of let you know a sort of few housekeeping notes before we start. What we'll do, we'll mute all of you so it makes the sound much easier for everybody to listen to while Paul's giving his presentation. And then afterwards, what we'll do, we'll allow questions and stuff if anybody's got any. We've picked up an awful lot already, so that's quite encouraging that lots of you are asking Paul lots of challenging questions, which is good. That's what we want to hear, because the important thing is you get what you want out of today in terms of anything that you want to know about Riviera, and obviously Paul will give a thorough update on that. Just to give you an update on where Miles Morgan Travel is and what we're up to. We are back open in every shop, albeit unfortunately it's virtual rather like this. So all of my team are working from home. We're open from 9 in the morning till 10 in the evening. So we're fully open everywhere. And from a sales perspective, we are seeing some green shoots, which is wonderful. I think we're all concerned and rightly concerned about the current situation. You know, the
net connection is unstable. Yeah, try it on the phone.
But the vaccination news is very positive, and obviously, from a personal perspective, and you can probably see by the sign behind me, all the over 50s done by April is fantastic news for me, and I'm certainly looking forward to getting the call to say that my jab is booked. So not long away now to wait until that. From a sales perspective, we're not seeing any sales for the front half of 2021. That probably won't surprise you. But sales are growing quite strongly for the second half of 2021, and certainly a lot for 2022 as well, because those holidays are on sale already. The final thing that I just wanted to say, sorry, I won't be able to join for the whole of this call. I was hoping to, but I've been called to do, we're being interviewed, obviously virtually now because of the pandemic, to try and win another few awards. We've put ourselves forward and been shortlisted for a number of awards, and normally we would go to London to do those, but they're being done by Zoom, and they booked me in for 11:30 today, and I couldn't change that date, unfortunately. So I am going to have to pop off the Zoom to do that. So sorry I can't join you for the whole thing. The exciting thing is that for the first supplier that we've got for 2021 for these Zooms is Riviera. It's fair to say, probably, if I asked all our staff to say, well, you know, what would you deem to be a customer favorite of our staff? Riviera probably would be right up that list. And the reason being, it's just a great product in terms of quality, and it matches that also with a great price. And that in combination is always what we know our customers love. And Riviera do that, and do that incredibly well. Paul is joining us this morning, as you can probably see. He's going to talk us through the program. He's also got some exciting news about some new products that Riviera have got. So if you've maybe used Riviera before, you are going to find some new stuff in Paul's presentation, which is exciting too. So I really hope you enjoy it this morning and get something out of it. And we look forward to seeing you, well, we really, really look forward to seeing you in some of our shops in the not too distant future. So over to you, Paul.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Miles. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, everybody, should I say. Really pleased to be here. I wish we were all in person, if anything, just for the fact that Miles always chooses lovely destinations for us to meet up, whether it's a hotel or restaurant. And normally we have lovely tea and coffee and cakes and cream cakes. Instead, I've had to make my own brew this morning, and I think I've got a packet of chocolate hobnobs stashed away somewhere, ready for later. So as Miles said, I'll be going through the Riviera and what we've got to offer, a little bit of an update and some of the new product. Thankfully today I'm actually in control of my own presentation. I had to do an event last night for a charity where someone else was doing the clicking of the presentation. So I was doing my best Chris Whitty impersonation by having to say, next slide, please. So at least today I've got full control. So like I said, I'll go through the presentation. There's been a couple of questions that have been sent through later, and then we'll just have a little summary at the end. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you'll enjoy the presentation. So with the magic of competition, hopefully you'll be able to see my screen. There we go. So yeah, a big welcome to everybody. For those who don't know much about Riviera, we are a specialist in really two products. So we're a river cruise company and a escorted tour operator. And we are a very big operator. A lot of people just don't realize the size of Riviera. We actually send more Brits on overseas river cruises than any other operator. And we also send more Brits on overseas escorted tours. And one of the main reasons is that we are a British company. We're based in Burton-on-Trent. And everything we do is designed for the British market. So though you will get a few Americans and a few Australians and a few other little nationality on board ships, probably about 85 to 90% of on board will be British and on the tours as well. And like I said, the fact that it's designed for basically people like yourselves is why we are so successful. You can see we're which recommended for both river cruising and touring, and that's always nice when our customers also give us the big vote of confidence, as well as travel agents such as Miles. We have three main brands or main products, should I say. So like I said, we have a dedicated river cruise brochure, we have a dedicated touring brochure, and then we also have a really good solo selection as well. So any people traveling on their own, we do have a dedicated solo collection, and that's for both river cruising and escorted tours. But what I'm going to start off with is probably what we're most well known for, is our river cruising. Like I said, award-winning luxury 5-star river cruising. So as Miles was saying, the balance of the quality and the price for us is really key. We still believe we have the best quality to price ratio in the market. All our ships are 5-star, and the other thing that's really key for us is what's included in the price. So you've got 3 meals a day, all your excursions are included. A lot of other river cruise companies, sometimes it's a really good price, and then you see you've got to add all these excursions on as well. We include that with you. We've got English speaking crew, so English is the only language spoken on board. We've got complimentary tea and coffee in your cabin. We still believe, I think we are the only river cruise company that got tea and coffee in every cabin on every ship, because you know what us Brits are like, you know, we can't function until we have that tea or coffee first thing in the morning as well. So having that on board makes a big difference as well. But like I said, when you've got that 5-star luxury and everything to hand, that's why it proves so popular with our customers. We cover all the major rivers that you would expect. So obviously our top selling rivers would be the big two of the Rhine and the Danube. We've got a strong program in France on both the Seine and the Rhone. We've got like the Dutch waterways around Holland. And one that's been really popular over the last few years is the Douro down in Portugal. We're lucky enough to have 2 ships down on that river. And I think because of its location, because of the weather, you know, it tends to be much better than the main Europe as well. That's always been proved popular for our customers. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the itineraries. Don't worry, we've got about 20 altogether, but I don't think Miles would allow me to do a 2-hour presentation today. So I'll just highlight some of our top selling tours, and certainly if you've never river cruised before, ones that you might want to try. So first off is up in Holland. So we've got Amsterdam, Kinderlijk and the Dutch Bulbfields. So we do these cruises that they're shorter durations. So once again, if you've never river cruised before, we have a lot of people who will use this as a first time river cruise, just because it is a shorter duration of 4 nights. Obviously we only operate this during the springtime because it fits in with the Dutch Bulbfields as well. But like I said, it's a really nice little sort of first time river cruise. The other shorter duration one we do is at the other end of the year is our Christmas markets. So we actually have 2. We do one on the Rhine and we do a Danube one. And once again, not only this is a great introduction to river cruising, but for 2021, this is selling really, really well for us at the moment. I think one of the main reasons is obviously with what's happened in the last 12 months, and especially over Christmas, I think so many people's plans went right out the window with lockdown, and I was in tier 4 and my brother was in tier 3 and my sister was in tier 2. It was just complete confusion. So we've had a lot of people that thought, well, actually, let's go big next year for Christmas. You know, we had such a bad Christmas this year. Let's go out and do it. And the good thing with the Christmas markets on the Rhine, for example, is you'll go to see not just one Christmas market, but a number of them. And you're in the equivalent of 5-star hotel, city centre hotel, and you've got all your meals are included. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're cruising the Rhine, you're enjoying what's best about river cruising, and then the excursions will take you to see some of the Christmas markets. So like I said, we've got a selection over Christmas and the New Year. So we also do New Year cruises on the Rhine and the Danube as well. Our number one selling cruise, though, has always been the Blue Danube. This is one of my favorites. I must admit, I have done this twice now. And one of the reasons why I think it proves so popular is it's on an iconic river, obviously with the Danube. Amongst many highlights, you've got 3 capital cities on this cruise. So you've got Budapest in Hungary, you've got Bratislava in Slovakia, and you've also got Vienna in Austria. At the turnaround point in Linz, you've also got an option of 2 things. You can stay in Linz and have a tour around that town, or we also do an excursion down to Salzburg, so it's Mozart's birthplace. If you want to unleash your inner Julie Andrews and recreate scenes from The Sound of Music as well, that was all filmed down in Salzburg as well. So like I said, be able to do 3 countries, 3 capital cities, and some iconic towns like Salzburg shows why it's so popular. We also have the option with this cruise that you can also extend at the end. We can tag like a mini tour for Budapest as well. So if you want to explore that city a little bit more, there is the option of extending on this cruise. Rhine through to Switzerland, a stunning cruise. We actually operate this in 2 directions. So you can either start in Cologne and finish down in Basel, or start in Basel and cruise up to through to Germany. Personally, I would probably do it from north to south. My own experience is I think it gets slightly prettier as you go along. And what we can also do, if you do cruise from north to south, is at the end there is also another optional extra of doing the Glacier Express, so the iconic train journey around Switzerland. There's that option of adding it on to this cruise. What you can't do, though, is do it the other way around. So if you start from Switzerland, we can't do the Glacier Express at the beginning. So it's only from the north to south. But that's a really scenic, and as you can see from the image, some stunning scenery as you cruise along. I mentioned how popular the Douro is. So like I said, we're lucky enough that we've got 2 ships out on the Douro. And one thing that makes the Douro a little bit unique compared to the other rivers is you only sail during the day. On the other rivers, we have a combination of nighttime and daytime sailings. The nighttime one is really just to make up the distances because of how far you're traveling. But with the Douro, nobody travels at night, so it's only daytime cruising when you're on the Douro. You've got quite dramatic valleys as you sail through. They're quite steep in parts of the country. And with this, once again, there is another optional extension that you could go down to visit Lisbon as well. So you can do Lisbon and Porto on this cruise. I've mentioned the shorter durations, and the majority of our river cruises are a week long. We also have a couple of 2-week duration cruises as well. So we have Cruise the Heart of Europe. And this one that was introduced, I think it was about 18 months ago, 2 years, Budapest to the Black Sea. So this starts from Budapest, and unlike the Blue Danube, this goes the other direction and goes through to the Black Sea Delta itself. Once again, really popular, for the duration. A lot of people like the fact they're having a 2-week river cruise. But the other thing is, it also goes to a lot of countries and destinations that people probably haven't been to. So the fact that you go to Romania, you go to Serbia, you go to Bulgaria, it's a lot of destinations that you might not have thought about going as a separate holiday. So to actually cross off all these different countries on one cruise, once again, is a big plus point for a lot of people. And then finally, we have a brand new itinerary for this year. So Amsterdam, Cologne, and the best of Holland and Flanders. The reason we introduce this is we do listen to our customers, and we listen to travel agents such as Miles Morgan, and we do take on what is fed back as well. And a lot of our customers saying they'd love to cruise Holland, but they don't really want to go in the spring. And that it might be a case of that they're not so much involved with the bulb fields. But one of the reasons what they want to do is they want to actually go to Holland during the summer or during the autumn as well. So this one, as you can see, it goes in and out of either Amsterdam or Cologne. So we do this in reverse as well. So like I said, you've got that combination of seeing the best of Belgium and Holland, and then we finish off in Cologne as well. So I said, this is brand new for 2021. As I mentioned with our ships, they're all 5-star. As being British as well, they're all named after poets and authors. So we've got the Jane Austen, we've got the William Shakespeare, we've got the Robert Burns, and like I said, everything is designed for the UK market. So we haven't got the biggest fleet, but we've got the newest fleet as well. So like I said, they're all lovely quality. I'm going to show you some images of cabins a little bit later, but what I thought I'd do is I'll just show you a quick video of the Thomas Hardy, just to give you an idea of what the ships are like. I don't know why it always suddenly goes back to me. So that gives you an idea of what our crews are like and the quality of the ships as well. So a lot of people often say to me, oh, how come all river cruise ships sort of look the same compared to ocean? Well, obviously we are limited to physics based on river cruise. So we can't build too wide because we're only on rivers, not on the ocean. And we can't go too high because obviously we've also got bridges to get under. One thing a lot of people don't realize is we can actually alter the height of the ship. So if you look on that image there of the Oscar Wilde, if you see the bridge on the top deck, that's actually on stilts. So if it's high water and we need to get under the bridges, we can actually lower the height of the ship by about 5-6 feet. It always reminds me a little bit of Thunderbirds with Tracy Island, where the palm trees used to fold down flat. It's very much like, you know, we lower the bridge, the radar mast goes down, we lower some of the shades as well. You also find for those who have never river cruise but have perhaps ocean cruise, is there's no inside cabins as well. There's only outside cabins on river cruising. And the other big thing I like, and especially when I have to show people around ships, is you can't get lost on a river cruise ship. We only have 3 corridors. It's that easy to navigate as well. So it's a really nice way of going. And as you can see from the size of the ships, we haven't got thousands of people on board as well. We've got a maximum of 168 passengers on any one ship as well. So it's quite unique in the farther cruising market. So I'm going to show you some images of cabins and other parts of the ship. So as I mentioned, there's no inside cabins. The leading category for river cruising is our lower deck. So you've still got the window, but as you can see, it's a panoramic window. That wall is probably about 4 or 5 feet high. It comes up on me, not that you can really tell on a Zoom call, but it's sort of chest high on me. It's exactly the same facilities as the cabins on the middle deck and the upper deck as well. So you've got spacious bathrooms, you've got the toiletries, you've got the TV and the mini bar as well. And unlike ocean cruise, generally you don't spend a huge amount of time in cabins compared to if you're on an ocean cruise where you've sometimes literally got days on end at sea as well. So a lot of people, because it is the leading category and the leading price, will sometimes use this cabin and then use the savings elsewhere on board ship. However, if you have never river cruised before, I'd probably recommend you go for either middle or upper deck leading category. So a French balcony window, and so you've got floor to ceiling windows. So the windows there will slide fully open to the sides. The difference with the Duro ships, because they're slightly different design, is the window slides horizontal, so it actually slides down rather than across as well. But as you can see, it's exactly the same design as the cabin I've just showed on the lower deck. The big difference is, though, you've got the French balcony windows. Because of the design of the ships, we have a few superior suites. So these tend to be located at the end of each corridors as well. They're more spacious, larger cabins. And as you can see, the beds are actually angled more towards the window. And then our largest cabins we have in the top category is the deluxe balcony suites. Unlike an ocean ship, we can't put balconies onto the side of our ship because basically we'd lose them every time we go through a lock. So what we do is we actually give you the largest square footage or meters, so it's 25 square meters, and as you can see from the image, it's actually an inside balcony, so the patio doors slide open, then you've got your own private balcony. We do only have a maximum of 4 of these on any one ship as well, so you do normally have to book quite soon to get some of the balcony suites as well, but they're our top category. We've got lovely spacious bathrooms. It's amazing sometimes when you look at some ocean ships where they often show you how lovely the cabins are and how spacious the cabins are, but they actually give you really pokey bathrooms. With us, we've got really spacious bathrooms and spacious cabins as well. You know, top toiletries with Crabtree and Evelyn, you know, plenty of room in the shower to actually stretch out as well. So like I said, having that space is really important throughout the whole cabin. So a few images of the actual ship itself. So this is the panoramic lounge. So during the day, it's the main focus point. So obviously you've got the large windows. In the evening, it becomes like the entertainment center as well. So you can see on that image, there's the pianist on board. So we always have some form of entertainment on board. If you're hoping to see the latest West End show, I'm afraid you're going to be a little bit disappointed. Once again, we're not an ocean ship. We don't need to keep people entertained for days on end at sea. But what we do, and one big advantage of river cruising, is because of where we're stopping and the fact the proximity to where we go, is we bring local entertainment on board ship. So for example, if you're in Vienna, we bring a string quartet on board. Those who are in Budapest will be a Hungarian folk team on board. And then you know, we also interact with, there might be a quiz night. So like I said, you've got the pianist as well. So in the evening, that will then become the main function room of the ship. We have a few extras that you can book. So there's spas on board. We also have hair and nail. These will be at small charges that you pay locally. Obviously, under COVID rules at the moment, some of these facilities in the short period may not be available, but we'll always make you aware of anything and any update on those. If you're feeling fit and active, there are a gym on board. If I'm honest, I've never really seen many people in our fitness rooms. I used to see a lot of people pop in there before they do an excursion, and the only reason they did that was when we used to give bottles of water away, and a lot of people on the lower deck suddenly realized there were extra bottles of water in the gym. So what they used to do before they went out for the day, they used to pop into the gym, get some extra bottles of water, then go straight back out of the gym and carry on their excursion. That's changed completely because we've now got rid of single-use plastic on boards, and you'll now have a reusable water bottle in your cabin, which is yours to keep, and then you can use that as you go along. But if you do feel a bit guilty for eating all the lovely cakes and afternoon tea, then like I said, you are more than welcome to use the fitness rooms. And for those really feeling fit and active, we've also got bicycles available. These are free to use. So if you stop at a town where you might have been before, or you just want to do something a bit local, you're more than welcome to borrow one of our bikes. Just please remember what time we set sail for. If you miss the ship, I'm afraid it is a bit of a cycle along the towpath to try and catch up with it, but you will catch up with us eventually. Just while I've got that image, you can see on the left there where I mentioned about the bridge, you can see there it's actually at its highest on the stilts as well. So like I said, that shows that we can actually lower the height of the bridge itself for when we actually start cruising under bridges. We have a 4-hole putting green on board. I wouldn't bring your full set of golf clubs. We've normally got like chessboard, there's a little plunge pool as well, so we've got a bit of activity. And you can see at the back of that image where we've got the sun lounge and seating, there is cover out there as well, so we've put some shaded areas. And one thing I love doing about river cruising, and I know it might not sound very rock and roll, but there's just times when I love getting a book, a cup of tea, and just sitting on the sun deck and just watch the world go by. And I say if it's too hot and too sunny, then I can go under the shade as well. But that's one of the big advantages of river cruising, is the fact that the scenery is always changing. Like I said, there's no days at sea. Whichever side of the ship you look out, there is something to see as you cruise around as well. So we've got a fully active sun deck. So this is an internal image. You can see the 3 corridors that we have on board ship. And I just want to put this just to highlight the lift on the left-hand side there. And it's just for any customers that have got mobility worries as well. Unlike ocean cruise, there are a few difficulties with river cruising, certainly getting on and off board ship, especially if it's low tide. It might be quite steep to get on and off the ship. So anyone who's sort of permanently in a wheelchair, it's really not geared for wheelchair use. Obviously, once you're on board ship, there is the lift that will link the 3 decks. One thing that is a bit unique for river cruising is sometimes you dock alongside another ship. And to get off your ship, you either, if it's the same height to the ship, you just walk through the ship on the inside. Don't worry, nobody's going to moan at you or shout at you. They just dock alongside and you just walk through. However, if it's a slightly different design ship, what they do is they link the ships by the sun deck. So as long as, from a mobility point of view, you're fit enough to go up to the sun deck, can walk over to a neighbouring ship and then down their steps, we often say as a rule of thumb of sort of 12 steps unaided, obviously with a hand banister, then you should be fine for getting around on board ship and getting on and off as well. But it's just a little word of warning. If you are unsure, when you speak to your Miles Morgan consultant, they can speak to us, and we've got a few Q&A questions to make sure that it will actually be suitable for you to cruise. Dining, always popular for ourselves. We've got lovely restaurants. Once again, with COVID regulations, when we do start cruising again, initially we won't be having buffet breakfast or lunch. So it's 3 meals a day on board ships. But everything will be at table service at the moment. We also do afternoon tea as well on board ships. That's free, and once again that will be at table service. You might have seen from the video that there were a few people dressed very smartly, and a couple of gentlemen with their jackets and ties. It is still very informal though, even though we're 5-star ships. There's no black tie event. We just really don't want people just coming down in vest tops and shorts, and it's more of a minimum requirement rather than a maximum requirement of what to wear. I think those gentlemen that were wearing the jackets and ties in the video, I think were probably just worn by their other halves that they were being filmed that day, so they better look their best, so they put their smart outfits on as well. But like I said, it's a beautiful restaurants, but it's also still quite nicely informal. There's also a second dining option on board ship. So we have the bistro at the rear of the ship. Once again, this is including the price. There's no supplements. The only thing we ask though is you just make a reservation for the bistro. It holds, I think the largest one is just 28 covers. There's only tables for 2s and 4s, so you're not going to get large groups coming in to the bistro as well. And like I said, this is open for lunch and for evening meals. So lunch is just a first come first serve in the bistro. It's an open kitchen, so you can see people prepare your lunch as well. And in the evening, like I said, it's just make a reservation. So especially if you're out for an anniversary or a birthday as well, I'd certainly recommend that you book for the anniversary date in the bistro as you cruise. We offer breakfast room service as well. This is similar to hotels where you just put your request on the door the night before, and then we'll deliver breakfast to your room. And like I said, when you look at our pricing of Riviera, we often say it's sort of 5-star river cruising, but probably at 4-star pricing, but the quality is still there. I know this might be a little bit small for people to read, and I feel like I'm doing like an online eye test. And if you can all cover your right eye and read the bottom line, we'll be able to go through, but it is beautiful food. And the amount of customers when they cruise with Riviera for the first time, one of the feedbacks they quite often say was just how nice the dining experience was. They really weren't expecting such fine dining for the price they pay, which hopefully shows that we've got everything spot on. Drinks, always important for a lot of people, I think, especially during lockdown at the moment. We actually don't include alcoholic drinks though with our prices. I know some competitors will say, oh, they do all inclusive and they do beers and wines for all meals. The reason we don't include drinks is not everybody drinks. I speak to a lot of customers who say they're teetotal, or they might just have the odd glass of wine for the evening meal. So why pay for stuff you're not going to use? However, if you do want to do a drinks package for a week's river cruise, that's £109 per person, which give you beers, wines and soft drinks for lunch and evening meal. Even though we're 5-star, we don't have 5-star price on board. I think for like a glass of wine or half a small beer, I think last time I saw prices started from about €2.50 on board, so we're not expensive. So if you do just have the odd drink here or there, if I'm really honest, I probably wouldn't even bother with a drinks package. I'll just bill it back to your cabin and pay at the end of the week. If you like a couple of beers at lunchtime and you might have a bottle of wine between you in the evening as well, then I'd certainly look at the drinks packages. As I mentioned, all excursions are included. And we always cater for if everybody on board ship wants to do the same excursion, we've always got enough transportation. For this year, obviously, with local regulations, we will be having smaller groups going out, so we have more coaches available, and everybody will get these headsets. And this in itself has naturally helped with social distancing. I'm sure we've all been on tours in the past where everybody's trying to gather around the tour manager and nobody at the back can hear what they're saying. With these headsets, nobody ever misses out. You're always in contact with the tour guide. If you're walking a bit slower than other people, that's fine. They'll stop and let you catch up. There's always one person in the group, which I admit is probably normally me, that just wants to take that perfect photo without the crowds. So when I've got the headsets, I can see where our tour guide is. I can hear what they're saying, and I can just take that time to get that perfect photo as well. So it's a really nice way of discovering the regions that we're going around. As I mentioned, we do a solo collection. So we always have up to 6 cabins on every ship, on every departure, where there's no single supplements. So that's on every departure. We also have a selection of solo cruises as well, where the whole ship is for solo customers. So if you want to cruise with like-minded customers as well, we do have a few set departures that go out throughout the year. And we actually have something that's a little bit new for us for 2021 is our Riviera Plus. This is for any customers that are staying in any of the suites on board ship or any of the top deck cabins as well. And this is included in the price. So you'll get things like better toiletries. We've got a bottle of chilled Prosecco on arrival. There's a plate of seasonal fruit as well. You've also got these smart handsets. Now, these handsets, I think, will really become more popular as we're now post-Brexit. So these handsets will have like currency converters, translators. They've got maps. They also give you free calls, internet usage and text, not only on board ship, but also when you're on land as well. So if you need to phone home, see how things are, see how the cat's getting on, you can do that free of charge when you're on those cabins. So like I said, any top deck cabin or any suites aboard the ships as well. So that's brand new for 21, and that's included in your price. So that sums up our river cruise section. So I'm going to go through the our touring side as well, which is the other big part. And like I said, we've got a few new products that I'll go on to there. With our touring side, we really split our touring section up into 3 main sections. So the first one is city breaks. So these are things like Bruges, Paris, Berlin. Now, it's not your traditional city break where you would just fly on a from your local airport, have 2 nights accommodation, and that's it. These are like little mini tours for you. So they're fully escorted. I did Paris a couple of years ago and did it by Eurostar. Our tour manager was actually on the train. One thing he did is, because he had where everybody was sat, is during the journey, he actually walked along the train and just introduced himself to everybody and just said, look, when we get to Paris, I'll meet you on the platform as well. And you can do as little or as much as you want. If you want to stay with the tour manager and do all the tours, that you're more than welcome. But using their local knowledge, and we get lots of incredibly positive feedback about our tour managers. where everybody loves the fact that not only do they know all the facts and figures of where they're going, but they tell you about the culture, they tell you about the people, tell you about the food and things like how to get around. You know, I always talked about the metro, that you can actually buy little books of 10 tickets. So rather than having to get every metro journey, if you want to go off and explore on your own, you can get a little group of 10, and it just gives that flexibility that if you want to do some free time and you want to go and explore yourself, we'll sort of show you where to go. We have a huge selection for Europe, as you expect, and we have a really nice quality of accommodation. So they're mainly 4-star hotels. There will be a few 3-star superiors, but they're really brought in for their location, as well as the standard as well. We have our ever popular destinations, Italy and Spain, especially the Italian lakes always seem a big plus point. And we have a few different things. We have a couple of single center tours where you'll just be in the one hotel for the whole week, and then we'll take you out every day. Some of the tours that we do that might link a few either countries or parts of the country will be a multi-center. So it could be 2 hotels, possibly even 3 that you get through as well. But once again, great locations, great excursions, and really some iconic places. So to give you an idea of some of the countries we do, we have had to for this year, there's been a few destinations that we've just taken off sale, and with everything that's been happening COVID. But what we've done is we've made sure all our top selling tours are still available for 2021 and beyond as well. So whether it is like the Italian lakes, or whether you want to try somewhere new like Georgia or Russia, or even things like you might not have thought about touring, place like Northern Cyprus or Malta, like I said, hopefully there's something for everybody. We also have a lovely selection of worldwide tours with some leading operators for some of the destinations around the world. So a place like South Africa for touring, we're #1 for Vietnam and Cambodia. And once again, for nearly 36 years of experience, we've been going to some of these countries. And I mentioned about our tour managers. One thing I always find is really good is the rapport they get and the how much people feedback. I went to India a couple of years ago with Riviera, and my tour manager, Matt, who's actually originally from Somerset, he's a Somerset lad. He actually now lives in Italy. So he actually does tours for both India and for Italy as well. And we've even had people who have been with Matt in Italy. You know, they've gone around Florence, Bologna. They've loved how he's done things. He's obviously told them about India, and they've actually booked India just so that they're going with Matt as well. We've had a few locations where people have done more than one country as a tour manager, and our customers have actually followed the tour manager around the world, which is a big plus point for them. When you look at some of the destinations we do, you know, we're pretty much covering all the continent. So like I said, we're very strong for Asia. You know, I mentioned Vietnam, Cambodia. We have a really good program for India with a good selection of about 3 or 4 tours there. We've got North America, Central and Southern America is doing really well. You know, so we've got places like Costa Rica has proved really popular over the last couple of years. You know, I mentioned Africa, and the furthest we go is New Zealand. And I think once again with the New Zealand doing so well with COVID, that's proved quite popular already for people booking for 2022. So to give you a little break, I'm just going to show you a little video of one of our top selling tours, and certainly proved popular over the last sort of 18 months for people looking for something a little bit different, is Peru with the Amazon. You'll see with Riviera that we never overdo. You know, we're not one of these trekking type tour operators. It's still very easygoing touring with Riviera, but the Peru and the Amazon is probably one of the more active ones. But you'll see what I see from the video. So if I click here and I'll show you Peru with Amazon. Right, hopefully that's giving you a good indication of what we do. And it's always important with those videos when you see the hotels that we choose as well. I'm sure when you're choosing between which operator to go to, sometimes you look at a tour and think, oh, that looks much better value. But it's important to compare what's included in your tour as far as the excursions and where you're traveling, and also the quality of the accommodation as well. You know, we've got really lovely 4-star, some 5-star hotels and great locations. And what we do as an operator is every tour that we do, staff have actually been there themselves. We actually go out, we see these hotels. We don't just contract third party through another operator. We make sure it's going to be fit for our customers when we go around. I mentioned on the river cruising with solo travelers, so we do the same for escorted tours as well for Europe and worldwide. And one thing I also think is really good for solo travelers, and I think quite important, is I've had in the past when I've booked a single room at a hotel and I'm given the tiniest bed known to the Western world to sleep in as well. With ourselves, whether you're doing a river cruise or whether you're doing a tour, as a single traveler, you'll still get a proper size bed as well. You know, we don't believe in just you paying and giving them the smallest little pokey cupboard room at a hotel as well. So it's important that it's your holiday, you're paying good money, you know, you should be able to relax, enjoy at the hotel. As Miles mentioned, we've got some new products on board. So, you know, I've shown you the new river cruise for Amsterdam. We've got the Riviera Plus, but the big news for us is we've introduced touring for the UK. This has come through from, once again, talking to our customers over the last few months. A lot of people have sort of fed back to us, said they would love to have traveled with Riviera if we did the UK. And the other thing, and I'm sure a lot of you have traveled with ourselves and some other operators in the past, and we've probably been some of the best and most wonderful 4 corners of the world. We've seen some stunning sceneries, as you've just seen from that video for Peru and Machu Picchu as well. But a lot of people actually haven't done what's on their own doorstep as well. So we've introduced a number of tours for the UK. And we split them up into sort of 2 main categories. So we've got a sort of standard escorted tour, and then we've also got what we call walk and discover. So the standard tours are pretty much a reflection of what we do for our European and worldwide. So you'll be scenic drives, you'll be going to historic cities, there'll be food and drink experience you go around. Obviously in the UK would be used like things like National Trust properties as well. And everything that you would expect for a Riviera escorted tour, we try and reflect that with our standard tours. Our walk and discover, we're not, like I said, trekking across mountains at a time, but just those that want to be a little bit more active. So we've introduced 2 half-day walks on the tours, which I'll just go through the itineraries quickly. But like I said, they are quite easygoing as well, so it's hopefully accessible for everybody. As far as the outcome, trying to get my teeth, as far as accommodation is concerned, is once again, we're choosing quality accommodation. We could quite easily use budget hotels around the UK to keep the cost down, but that's not what the standards our customers are used to as well. So it's 4-star accommodation, lovely dining options at the hotels, great locations for you to get to. And one thing that makes this a little bit different from our usual tours is we're selling this as a sort of land only. So you'll be based in one hotel, and your tour starts when you get to hotel. Now, a lot of our customers said they're quite happy to drive to the first location. If you want to let the train take the strain, or if you want to help someone hire a car, or if it's depending where the tour is, if you want to fly, once again, if you speak to your Miles Morgan consultant, they can speak to us, and we've created a travel desk to help with trains and flights and little things like that that we can help for you to get your destination. But if you want to make your own way to the tour, then once again, we've chosen hotels that have got plenty of parking available for you to arrive. So the excursions first. First one is down to Cornwall. So Cornwall, Falmouth and St Ives. 4 nights starting from 549. And as you can see, what we're trying to do is avoid the school holidays as well. So, you know, the tours will be going in sort of spring and very early summer, and then we'll start again in the autumn as well. I go down to Cornwall quite often and the surrounding area. It doesn't matter what time of the year I go around, it's always National Tractor Week when I seem to go down there, and I'm always stuck behind tractors going around Cornwall. It's even worse when I'm there during the school holidays as well, and just you can't get anywhere near a lot of these places. So once again, we're trying to cater for our customers that want to see the best of these places as well, without it being too hot, too crowded. We've got Norfolk, Royal Sandringham and the Broads. For those who haven't got the best internet connections, that's not our tour manager at the top for us. But yeah, we will be going around the Sandringham. We've got things like the Poppy Line steam railway that would take you for a trip. Would take you on the Norfolk Broads as well. And like I said, it's a really lovely 4-star hotel for Norwich. It's a really great base for you to explore. This is already starting to be one of our most popular tours, Scottish Highlands and Skye. Anyone who's a Harry Potter fan might recognise the viaduct and the train going over there as well. Once again, we can help with train or even flying up to Scotland. So this is going to be based up in Inverness. We're going to a place like the Isle of Skye. We'll be cruising Loch Ness as well. So like I said, a lot of customers have sort of said they've actually never been to Scotland and feel that this will be a really good tour for them to start off with. Another one over the water is to Northern Ireland, over to Belfast. One of my favourite parts of the UK. I go to Northern Ireland quite often. The hotel is a really good centrally based hotel in Belfast. We'll take you to places such as the Giant Causeway. We do the Titanic experience, and once again, all these excursions are all included within your price as well, still staying at high quality accommodation. Some of our walk and discover ones. So the first one up into Wales, the saying in Llandudno, is the Common Coast and Snowdonia. So like I said, we have 2 half-day walks including this. So we do the Aberfalls walk, and then we also have a walk along the Wales Coast Path as well as trips like the Snowdon Mountain Railway. So like I said, we're not going to be trekking over mountains for hours and hours on end. It is still easy pace walk and discover. We also have North Yorkshire as well. My colleague who's from Halifax in Yorkshire was absolutely over the moon when she found out we're starting doing tours on her doorstep. So you might get a random Riviera staff member waving at you as you go past her. She's very much a big fan of our local area. So obviously we were going to places like York and Whitby. Everybody seems very excited about that you're going to Betty's Tea Room in Harrogate as well. So if you're going to have afternoon tea, we'll do it best. And once again, that's including the price. And like I said, there'll be 2 half-day walks for the Yorkshire tour. And then the Lake District, and as well as doing everything that you would expect up there, you're going to Lake Windermere, you'll be going on UK's oldest narrow gauge railway. I just think a couple of these images are stunning. You know, we've seen some of the pictures of like Peru and other parts of the world as well, and there's just so many people just forget what we've got on our own doorstep as well. So the Lake District has always proved a popular draw for people as well. So this one will be based in Kendal, and once again we're avoiding the school holidays up in the Lake District. And then hot off the press, I think this went on sale Thursday or Friday last week. Because of the success of those tours that we put on there the last couple of months of last year, we've added 4 new UK tours. So we've got one that's going to be very local to a lot of the Miles shops for Bath, Somerset and Glastonbury. We've got one down to Dartmoor on the Devon coast, a trip up to the Cotswolds, taking in Oxford and Blenheim. And then we've also got another trip to the Peak District as well. I've also heard we've still got a few more tours to be added as well. So like I said, for whether you want to postpone a trip to Europe or worldwide till 2022 and do something a bit close to home for this year as well, hopefully we've got those options covered for you. I've just put this slide on about the coaches. So this year we'll be running small groups, and normally we do a full-size coach. So there will be a few changes as you would expect for with COVID and all the restrictions are under. So we'll have a maximum of 25. There'll be hand sanitizers on board. We'll no longer be rotating the seating on board coach as well. So just so you're stuck, you know, you've got the same seat for the entire journey as well, because once again for the social distancing and for cleanliness. And at Riviera, we were one of the very few operators that actually got some tours away last year. So in the summer, we did quite a number of tours out to Italy, and I was on the first works trip. So as I mentioned, you know, we would never do anything that we wouldn't expect our customers to do. So I did our Lake Como, St. Moritz and Bernina Express trip. So we had a couple of directors with us. We had health and safety. We had operations with us, and we checked out to see how things operating in Italy. Back then, if I'm really honest, I felt so much safer in Italy than I did over here in the UK, but we just wanted to make sure that everything was fit and safe for you to travel. We even had a tour of the garage of the local coach firm that we use in Italy to see how they clean the coaches, how they are maintaining their vehicles. They showed us they've got it's like a sort of disinfectant spray that they put through the air conditioning every day, so they almost like deep clean the coaches every day that you're traveling as well. So we're going to make sure everything is in place for you so you feel safe when you're traveling as well. We've also started another new product of private tours. Over the years, and when I do the events with Miles and the holiday shows, we have a lot of customers that will look at our tours, look at the prices, go, that's absolutely perfect, that's everywhere we want to go, we're really happy with the price. But they don't realize it's actually a group tour. And when you actually then look to do that as a private, just as a couple, the price just shoots up ridiculously high to do those same destinations. So we've introduced our way of doing private touring, which we hope has got the best of both worlds. So we've got a selection of 10 tours that I'll show you. They're on fixed dates and you can't change the itinerary. Now, when I say can't change the itinerary, what I mean is you can't suddenly say, well, can we do 3 nights here instead of 2 nights, and can I add on this place? However, when you're actually touring around, I'm sure we've all been on a tour in the past where you might get somewhere and it might be a museum or a church like that, and the guide says, right, we've got 4 hours here, and you go, really, I'm probably going to be done in about half an hour. Or the flip side of that, you might go somewhere that's got stunning scenery and they stop and say, right, we've got 5 minutes here for you to take a quick photo. There you will be able to have a bit of flexibility to go around, because as you see, you'll have your own vehicle, you'll have either your own local guide, or we use guides as we go around, all English speaking, to go around touring as well. So like I said, for us, it's the best of both worlds. You get the itinerary that you want from the touring side, you get the exclusivity that it's just the 2 of you or 1 person actually touring around, but you're not paying the really, really high prices that you would just putting this sort of thing together. And these are the tours we're doing. So we've got a couple for India, Sri Lanka, I mentioned obviously Vietnam, Cambodia, which is really popular for us. Staying in the Far East, we've got Malaysia and Borneo tour, Costa Rica, Ecuador and the Galapagos, obviously going a bit further afield. And then we've got 3 that are slightly closer. So we've got Georgia, Morocco and Jordan as well. So we've got these private tours in place. We also have some offers on. Everybody loves a little bit of offer. So for our river cruise customers, we're doing onboard credit offers. So any river cruise booked through Miles Morgan for an 8-day river cruise for Europe, it's up to €200 per cabin onboard credit. If it's a 15-day river cruise, then it's €400 per cabin, or basically £200 per person. So this you can be used to whatever you want to. So for example, if you don't take the drinks package, you may want to use that towards just getting the odd glass of wine or the odd cocktail. You can use it towards a spa or saloon, or if you just want to do a bit of shopping in the boutiques. You can even put it towards things like gratuities as well. It's up to you how you spend that money on board. So like I say, it's for all European river cruises, and that's booked up to the end of February. We also have our holiday happiness. So as with every operator, we've had to change the way we work in the current conditions as well. So we've now got our holiday happiness guaranteed. So we have COVID protection on board ship, so and our tour. So if we have to cancel the tour, we refund the money. We've got leading health and safety practices both on board ships and our tours. And any bookings made up until the end of February, you can change up to 45 days beforehand, free of charge. So if you want something to look forward to, but just worried about booking conditions, you can book now for either later on in this year or into 2022. And then a bit nearer the time, if you're still feeling a bit unhappy or unease as well, we've got that little bit of flexibility. And also, if you're not happy after day 2 of your tour, and you tell our staff, we'll fly you back to the UK and we'll give you a full refund as well. So we've got lots of conditions in place. Miles has also been very generous, and any Riviera European, and that does exclude the UK ones, which I must say is probably quite in timing with Brexit at the moment, or any worldwide tour booked by next Wednesday, Miles also threw in a case of wine, which I think a lot of people are probably making the use of in lockdown as well, but that's a generous offer from Miles himself on top of our offers. And then just a final, like I said, we've had a few questions sent through from customers. So I've just picked out 2 that I think are quite relevant for people who are worrying. Someone asked about when's the earliest dates this year that cruise companies are currently planning to operate from. that's a really tough question to answer. For Riviera's point of view, we're hoping as soon as possible. We are actually physically ready to go as early as April, when our river cruise start operating. Obviously, we're governed by both UK restrictions and also the countries where we visit as well. We may get in the situation where we can actually travel from the UK, but somewhere like Germany might not allow touring customs in, or Portugal might not be to as well. So we'll always keep you updated. And like I said, as soon as we can physically get the go-ahead start cruising, we can pretty much switch things on as well. So in an ideal world, April. If I'm really honest, I think we'll probably be looking near possibly May, June. But as you see, over the last 9 months, there's been so many last minute changes from the government. But we've always got our expertise there to help. I mentioned that I did this works trip on Lake Como, St. Moritz, the Bernina Express. Our first actual customer trip on that tour. They arrived in Como on the Thursday lunchtime. In the evening, Switzerland was added to the no-go list by the government. So literally on the spot in our operations, we had to cancel the Bernina Express journey over to St. Moritz because that was taking you into Switzerland. But once again, our expertise, the quality of our tour managers, our operations staff made alternative arrangements. I think they chartered a boat to go on further down the lake into Como town as well. So having that flexibility and having that professionalism, I think, means that if there are any restrictions, we can act straight away. And the other question that someone asked was, how will cruise operators organise cruises to multiple countries this year, each with their own restrictions and COVID problems and vaccinations? And that's sort of similar to what I've sort of said. Because we've got people on the ground, we always listen to both our Foreign Office advice and the advice of the countries we go to. So we will make sure everything is in place. So some of our river cruises and some of our tours are just in one country. If it's just in sailing down the Rhone in France, or if it's just on the Rhine cruise, obviously you've just got the one country's conditions to sail with. But even if it's a multiple cruise that we're doing, for example, that Budapest through to the Black Sea, where we're going to about 2 or 3 countries, we will always make sure we have everything in place that fits in with those countries' restrictions or their requirements. We'll make sure the testing's up to scratch. We've made changes on board ship in preparation for traveling as well. So you'll be rest assured that with not only with our booking conditions, but the fact that we've gone out there in person and we've made sure every box is ticked and everything is covered as well, you'll be able to travel safely with ourselves. So I think I'm just a couple of minutes over my time. Thank you all very much for attending this morning. It's been a big thank you to Miles and the team for inviting me to do their first virtual event. Like I said, I wish we were all in one room together and we could enjoy the presentations like we used to as well. If after this presentation you have thought of another question or something that's really specific for either a tour or an itinerary that you do, please contact your local Miles Morgan shop. As Miles said, there is someone working from every branch. It is a virtual one as well, but they are there to help. So not only can I thank you, but can also take this opportunity to thank Miles and the team for their support for Riviera as well. They are a key partner for us, and rest assured, we can't wait to get you either on board ships or one of our tours as soon as possible. So thank you very much for your time today. Please take care, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon. Thanks for your time today. Goodbye.